Howdy guys, welcome to She'll Be Right Garage and part 14 of the scrap metal Landau build. So in the last episode we've managed to get our template roof frame on, but it is a little bit twisted and buckled, so we're going to need to address that first up. And for the rest of this video we need to start making up some panels of the rear roof frame, either from Sedan donor pieces or making everything up from scratch. So why don't we hook in and let's see just how bad this is misaligned. And so very quickly from the outset, pay note of the gap between the gutter here and our roof template. And then moving to our driver's side, we can see the roof template is in fact overlapping the gutters here, so we're probably about 20mm different there. Getting about 8mm variation from this measurement and close to 20mm from this measurement. So the steps that we're going to have to take now is to pop all of these welds off on the bracing, and once both sides are done we're going to prop and lift up the corners of the car, frontwards or under the pillars themselves, and actually start to get a bit of a twist on these A-pillars until we can rearrange this and get some dead even measurements. That's the change already. That now needs a lot more propping up. Alright, so now after a bit of poking and prodding, we now have our angular measurements absolutely to the millimetre perfect with each other. We're now going to head off to the storage yard where we've got a spare Landau, and we're now going to compare all of our heights just to make sure we've got everything spot on. That is actually bang on the money there, really happy with that. So now we're going to check these measurements before we get back to home base. And we're also going to check this infill panel lineup as well, because we've got a few spares of these at home base as well, and that's going to help us give a guide as well. And so that measurement is exactly the same as what we're currently getting on our driver's side. Excellent. But now that we're back, and we know that these angles are 100%, we've done a little bit of measuring for some trueness of the frame here, and we're finding as we measure across, from one corner to the other, we're about 10mm out from side to side. So it now means we've got to put a bit of pressure from that corner across to this corner on the bottom and swing this whole frame over. And now that our sides are accurate, unfortunately we're a bit short on our diagonal now, so it's time to pull this forward. And we'll keep on fine tuning until they're all exactly the same. Beautiful. And now that we have our measurements from front to rear, top to bottom, and our diagonal, all within the millimetre of each other from side to side, we can lock in our bracing for the final time. That'll do. So after measuring 700 millimeters from the leading edge, according to our template Landau, and of course measuring 255 from the leading edge here of the quarter, we'll be able to put our spare part over here, and we can see that they line up exactly perfectly with this car. But this needs to come down in order to fit, which is why we're going to install this on both sides to make sure we have dead accurate height. So we'll cut this off on both sides with the cutters and off we go. And now that we have all of our diagonal measurements exactly the same from each other all across the roof, we should have a template roof skin that should fit perfectly. Now for our template window panel. And that there is an exact match. And check that out, guys. All of those spot welds are a dead perfect match. They line up exactly where they used to be. All of our measurements are dead accurate. Everything from side to side matches. All of the original spot welds match. That is definitely a successful mission. Yes, it's rusty, but check it out, guys. More and more, this is looking like a hardtop. Everything is millimetre perfect. Happy bloody days. Okay guys, now that we've got perfect alignment for this entire roof section, we need to be able to remove this strap. So we're going to work on the bracing on the back section here to keep this rear section in place. So off with the roof and in with the bracing. And we'll use ourselves a square bit of tube clamped on the inside and locked into the bottom bracing here. That way these aren't going to wriggle in and out at all. And here's our result with a little step underneath. That means this roof cannot move any further in across to the side. Obviously it can move out when we want to do our repairs, but this is the perfect guide. Now it's time to replicate this using our Sedan donor. And here they are side by side, hardtop on top, Sedan below. There is quite a significant amount of differences here, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of making the Sedan work. Let's take a closer look at some of these differences. As we lay the top piece of the Sedan over the hardtop, there needs to be a bit of a kink made here on account that the curvature of the hardtop is a little bit different. This will also have to occur on the bottom piece as well. The more obvious issue is of course that the Sedan has a pressing in the middle of it. This is also the same for underneath. And when we look at the profile of the material itself, we can see on the hardtop this end is quite shallow, on the Sedan it's taller. And looking at the lower profiles on both, we have a similar issue. So once again, off to the English wheel with that. And so our order of procedure is going to be, we'll start by knocking these out flat using the anvil, then hit it with the English wheel to redress these profiles, and then use the stretcher shrinker to get our curves to match. And now, as we keep forcing the English wheel on this leading edge, you can see the whole thing by comparison is starting to get a new profile. We need to do this on both sides and of course on the underside as well. So this is how we get our new profile to match exactly like the hardtop. Here we are now with a lovely match on this profile. We'll pop this on the stretcher just to get our curvature right and do the same thing with the bottom. And after a bit of work, we can now see a matching side-by-side profile. Beautiful. And so now very quickly moving on, we've got to take care of trimming the bottom edge here and filling up these holes and re-drilling in the correct spot on both sides. And then on the flip side, we've got to do the same thing. We need to trim this along here, fill this piece in, and then in this section make our new hole to match. Weld in this hole and do the same on the other side. Ready to be spot welded together. Beautiful. As we take a look from underneath, fits exactly like it's meant to. Yeah, bloody beauty. Well, we've still got some more fabrication to do, guys. We're going to rip these corners off the roof now and take care of building both sides from scratch. This is the reason why we're making it from scratch, folks. You can see just how different the hardtop is compared to a sedan. So there's no modifications there going to be done. Everything's straight from scratch. And so with both of our corners off, it's time to make them all up from scratch. We're going to start by using a piece of cardboard to trace out our main piece like this. We've got a couple of little lines here that we can put in with the English wheel, and we're going to make this entire shape. We'll then use the bead roller to create this step and follow it up with these three main lines here. That will of course create a whole bunch of warpage, but that's okay. Once we've folded our edge down, we're going to use the stretcher and the shrinker and get everything into shape, followed by creating the final lines all the way around. So let's hook in. We should be able to do that fairly straightforward. We're going to focus on the driver's side at the moment because it's the most complete, but we're going to do both sides at the same time. here's our final results. Well, they're looking good. Time to see how well they fit. Oh yeah. So far so good. Better try banging that roof skin on, eh? And we'll call that done. You bloody ripper. Alrighty guys, that'll have to wrap us up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed the challenge of making this car in dead alignment, converting our sedan piece into hardtop, as well as making our little corners here from scratch as well. Next week we're going to follow up with the Dodge truck. We've got a bit of chassis work to do there, and the following video from that will be straight back to this Landau. We've got some outer skins to probably take care of, and the infill panel, and a bit of parcel tray. So like always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Everything helps the channel grow, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. G'day folks, welcome to She'll Be Right Garage. We're watching part... Oh, you fucking noisy cunt fucking car, fuck you. Piss off, you fart can sack of crap. Fuck's sake. Fuck no, not the Mustang. Fuck. Oh, you fucking dog fucking can't. Fuck ya. Oh, what are you going at, you fucking prick? Fuck you. You right there, cat? Get out. Oh, fuck's sake. Missed that fucking rust spot. Oh, fuck's sake. Bastard, move, will ya? Fucking shit everywhere. Fuck, that was close.